Okay, this is a video just to easier than posting, just to explain what this machine does. Of course, there's very little about it known. SpeedXa was made by Elliott Company in the 20s and 30s, and so it was a pretty obscure maker for bandsaws. They made milling machines and whatnot, but anyway, I picked this up for $200 because I needed to make some fences and whatnot, and I needed something to really cut metal. I've been cutting metal on the burr screen saw with variable frequency drive, but it wouldn't really get as low. And this is a 2 horsepower machine with a manual transmission. When I got it, there was no fence, there was no miter, there was no lamp. All of these things wouldn't have had originally. There was no guards here at all. It had been painted 100 million times. The rubber, vulcanized rubber tires were in not too bad a shape. There was a chunk missing on the edge of this one, which I used polyurethane caulking at. It is almost virtually the same density. I'm very happy with that repair. This is an air hose. This is the little cable that goes in up around to supply the lamp. What's interesting is there's a little plug here from 1935. It's a little brown Bakelite plug. These are these plugs that are from England that you have to get special transformers for. Anyway, Bob Nine Fingers in England mailed me this brown Bakelite one from the same era. Very nice. Thanks, Bob. It's those little details that make my day. So that plugs into there. How cool is that? And that, of course, juices me up for 110. And there you go for that. Of course, I made this lamp. I did a post on it, so that gives me light. I can't see nothing, guys. The other things that were, there's no manuals, so I had really no way of telling what to do. The transmission, I don't know if you can see this. I'll see if I can show you parts of the transmission here. You adjust the camera. When I got it from the previous owner, it was locked into a single speed, and mostly because this had seized. So what was missing is there's little notches in this back gear to take some sort of ingress. I only found a little screw hole and just figured that there must have been some index. I'm not sure. This is the one I made, which allows you to unlock it from its position, which is in right now, rotate the gear out, and then lock it in the out position, and then you would engage the clutch here, and that takes it out of the back gear. That was, of course, not there. This had rotated in and was always in the back gear position. I could not figure out for the life of me what was wrong, but because it had rolled past its locking index, the gear meshing was really out, so it was quite loose. Sounded like a gravel crusher. To make matters worse, this rotating casement goes through a cast iron housing inside with a grease nipple, which can only grease the interior bearings if it actually is lined up in these positions, which it wasn't, and so the grease never saw the bearings in that, and they were toast. Very expensive bearings, Ransom and Marple bearings, about $50 a piece. Luckily, a company consolidated out of New Jersey is making Ransom and Marple bearings, and there it is. That locks it in the right position, and that's it. It didn't have this, which it goes into little spring plungers. It also didn't have a cable here to support the cast when it opened up, and it had snapped off one of the pivot hinges at the base. You know, so not a terrible lot of things. There's an outer bearing, and there's 2 bearings in here. There's also some bronze bearings on this. It's an interesting wood metal bandsaw in that this is an open gear case. I think that has to do with the number of speeds that this saw can do. A lot of the gearbox metal bandsaws, wood metal bandsaws, really don't have a large range. The range of RPM here is 8 speeds, and ranging from 79 to 6,000 surface feet per minute. So that's some pretty fast speeds and some very low speeds. Because of the high speed, I don't think that this gearbox in a transmission with grease would even work. It's just too fast. Anyway, it works very well. I'll show you what I did for the fence. I'm sorry about the compressor. The fence, this Acme thread here is actually made from a cast iron broken C-clamp I had. I like the Acme threads; they're kind of cool. Now they're pretty fast thread. I'm not sure what I didn't actually measure this, so I don't know what 1 turn does, but 1 turn probably does 1/8 of an inch, and that doesn't bother me. This little slot right here is for adjusting drift. So you would adjust your drift for your bandsaw. You would lock that in position. This is your lockdown, and then if you want to, you know, adjust your fence, come saw, lock it down, and then it's a pretty solid fence. It's you know, it's moving my bandsaw. Miter, you know, I didn't have one. This is all just cut out of aluminum block, actually on the bandsaw. You know, it's a lot of fun. It had, of course, it had no guard at all here. This was completely open. The little handle I made, I took this handle off an old broken offal knife and made a little whatever that bulletproof plastic's called here, so I could see my guides in action if there's sparks, but I also don't have to pay attention to that. Anyway, I'll show you it cutting. It's a pretty nice little quiet saw, and let you see what it sounds like and run it through its speeds. So let me back it up here enough to sort of get a good view of things. Let's see what I've got in here now. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so I'll open this up so you can see the speeds. I have to tip this slightly because the door will hit that when this is at 90. So that's one thing I plan on doing, is put a little nut underneath in that casting to let that table drop to 90 that I can preset on a jam nut. Anyway, I believe this is at, I think the settings for the speed now are, okay, so I'm in steel cutting. This is very slow. This is 79 revolutions per minute. That 2 horse, which is pretty amazing. I don't think I could even do that with, you know, that's pretty decent. There's really nice guides in this. Now that's steel. Apparently you have to run steel pretty slow, so I made this little notch. It takes a long time to cut steel, you know, but it's very precise. It doesn't heat up enough to, you know, I wouldn't wait for a video to see me cutting steel, but it does cut steel and it does do a good job of it. So that's a pretty slow speed there. You could probably shift it in a few other spots. This is with the back gear in, so I have currently a 2-inch pulley and a 3-inch pulley. This would have had, it's a little faster in the back gear. Not much. Say brass and aluminum is to run at 300 feet a minute, but I find it a little slow still, so I'm still experimenting. Anyway, I'll drop out the back gear and put it in what I call aluminum speed. So this is about 1,000 feet per minute. Not terribly fast. You know, but not too bad. It doesn't seem to heat it up any. I'm able to do, you know, this is kind of neat, eh? So I can do stuff, you know, that's kind of precise. So I think it's kind of neat. Now that's with that 14 blade, 3/4 inch plate. Pretty neat. Of course, you know, it's not the right type of blade, but I'll set it up for wood. It's a little faster. Like I said, it'll go to 6,000, but that'd be pretty crazy. I'm not sure what I got here. This is maybe 3,500 RPM, or surface feet per minute, I should say. So it switches out fairly quickly. I'll close it up. Well, I guess I'll show you the speeds. So that's a little faster. 3,500 bandsaw speed. The guide's a little better. That's my bottom guide, making all that noise. You know, it's not the best wood saw because it's got a metal cutting blade in it. I imagine if I were to get the right blades, you know, it'd probably do a nice job with it. Anyway, I think it's a fantastic saw. You know, I think it sounds wonderfully smooth. I don't know if we passed a coin test. I haven't got any coins on me. Well, maybe it does. I don't know. I got a tune